You can see everybody laughing already. We've got an absolute doozy for you tonight. We were talking about it and we said, let's just hit record. And then it was a mad panic. Let's stop, press record. And we're going to see what happens. Now, this all came about. Oh, hi guys. We've already been talking. So, Fernando, was it Fernando? Yeah, it was Fernando that found this video about a guy that apparently went to sleep in 2021, and when he woke up, it was 2027, and everybody on Earth was gone except for him. Now, he has apparently been dropping videos, somehow getting them sent back in time to 2024 about the whole world, and people are saying, oh, but he's faked it, or he's going out early in the morning and he's proved he hasn't done that. Proved. And we just thought, what would you do if you woke up and you were the only person left on Earth?
Do whatever you want because no one's going to tell you off.
Exactly. And Fernando's staying very quiet at the moment.
No, my light was flickering, so I'm trying to
That means
figure out what's going on.
A time portal is starting. We're about to lose Fernando to the 27th century.
But mind you, it wasn't just humans that were all gone. It was also animals. In these videos, you couldn't even see a bird flying or.
They're just drones anyway, so they're not real. They're just drones anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Drones?
I'll tell you what, Fernando, do you want to fill everybody in on the premise of these videos? And I can drop the link to the actual video in our video description so people can check them out for themselves. But I think you said you know the guy that actually produced this video, or you've spoken with him.
I don't know him. I don't know him personally. We just exchange words.
Yeah.
Especially, unfortunately, I want to say his grandmother passed away sometime last year, and I sent my condolences. He responded. Omar Gosh TV. He has a video out on YouTube right now, and it caught my attention. It's about this guy in Spain that I'm just not 100% sure if he just went to bed like a regular night that he goes to sleep, and or like something like Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead happened, a crazy accident, and he was in a coma. He just woke up and everybody's dead. But no, this guy woke up and he started walking around, and if I'm not mistaken, he actually woke up in a hospital. He wasn't like in his apartment or nothing, right? So he woke up, there was nobody around, just like the Rick Grimes, right?
Yeah.
And then he just started walking around and he started posting videos. The crazy thing is that he had a following, and people were telling him to do certain things, to go to certain places, so he could prove, and there's nobody there. He went to the places where he went is in Spain, and they're very high in traffic per se, right? So it would be like me, let's say like here in New York, it would be like me walking around Manhattan and there's like absolutely nowhere, nobody around, and and Manhattan is known to be the city that never sleeps. So, it'll be creepy, but honestly, with how society is today, I'll be freaking happy for a time being. But nobody's around.
It's funny when I watch the videos as well, because a lot of the people were saying, oh, you're faking it, which, common sense kicks in and says, yeah, but it's a bit of fun at the same time. And he turns around and he says, no, he's not faking it, and he's not going out early in the morning. And he actually goes out through these streets, and he actually zooms in on the clock, which is still working. And funny enough, there's still power and everything. And all the lights are still on, and he can still find food and things like that. But This clock says I think it was 5:47 or 4:47 in the afternoon, which should be right in the middle of peak hour, but there's not a person in sight. And it goes on from there. Like, they send him to the airport. So you got to go to an airport. I don't know, Milan or one of those Spanish airports. And that's in Italy, isn't it? It's Milan. I will just shut up and I won't say things. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Valencia.
Yeah. But he goes in there, and the arrivals and departure screens are all still working. They've all got planes arriving and departing, but there's nobody around. And it's a curious question. What would you do if you woke up and you were the last person on Earth? There is an actual TV show out called The Last Man Alive or The Last Man on Earth or something like that, which is a bit of a giggle because he finds the only other woman that's around, and she happens to be a person that's a bit naggy. And it's hilarious. You just got to watch it.
I'd go to Area 51 and start exploring that motherfucker.
But you got to remember, you're waking up in Australia.
I'm the only person there. They can't tell me I can't leave.
I know that, but you've got to learn how to fly a plane, or you've got to learn how
drive a boat.
You can pilot a boat. Yep.
I can sail a boat. You got my skipper's ticket.
That'll be that'll be a funny situation. You're like, ooh, I could travel for free now. Let me drive this plane, and
that's the thing though. Like, how long you wake up, you're the only person left. How long have you got left on electricity? How long have you you've got all the food in the world? You can eat whatever you want, but nobody's there to cook the McDonald's.
But this is the thing as well. You've got all the food in the world until it starts going off. Then you're going to be restricted to baked beans and farty foods.
That's okay, because then I've got firearms to hunt with, and I can get my food.
Yeah, but
hunt what? There's no
that's
animals.
what I'm saying. The premise of this video is you wake up.
No, you said if you're the last person on Earth.
That's the TV show we were talking about.
Okay. I mean, I took it as going off the premise of what that video is about, because there's no animals. The guy actually went to a zoo and was walking into, where they'll have all of the animals caged up, and there's no animals. There's no birds. There's no animals. So there's no humans or animals.
How much have you actually looked into this video and this guy?
In Spain, not much. Just from what I saw from Omar Gosh TV.
This has been going on for more than 3 years now, obviously, with him.
Since 2021. Because remember, he went to sleep in 2021 and woke up in 2027. I have yet to work out how he gets these videos back in time. That's the big one for me.
And how he's able to communicate with the followers. He's communicating with people.
So you go back far enough to the start of it, and you look at other sub posts through Reddit and other places. It was for an upcoming TV series, and the dates were mentioned on it.
There you go.
And it goes here. I'll scroll back to his first post in an empty department store, literally like a lockdown, and there are social distance markers on the ground, and nobody's noticed it. Someone goes, it's upcoming for a TV series, running people were fooled. The guy's got a link to a YouTube channel and everything there.
Have you seen that old 80s film, The Night of the Comet?
No.
No, it's one where obviously there's a comet that flies past, and what happens is it's so close that it's going to be perfectly visible to the human eye. So what happens is everybody goes, well, not everybody, but most people go out to look at it. And there was one couple that were doing a bit of the horizontal tango in a back room somewhere, so they missed it. But when they came out the next morning, there were just piles of clothes everywhere and piles of ash. So obviously anybody that was looking at it got turned to ash. But certain ones turned to almost not like a zombie, but one of those kind of 28 days later kind of situations. But before they sort of showed up, they do what you see in all of the films, and that's you go into the shopping centre, you go through the shops trying anything on, grabbing whatever you want and stuff like that. And they make it look almost romantic and really cool that you can do whatever you want. But then the realism comes into it all about the power's going to go out eventually, food's going to run out eventually. How are you going to live then? It's going to be a lot less fun. And that's what we're talking about tonight. There's all these preppers. I remember there's a TV show that used to be out called The Preppers. It's probably still out on some channel somewhere. And they vote on people and they rate them on their prepping abilities. And each person that's prepped sort of, they have their own reasons. Some say, I'm prepping in case there's a zombie apocalypse, or in case there's a solar storm, or whatever the case may be. And there's this one, I remember watching this one about these people who, they had everything done, underground bunker, they had weapons, they had food stores, They even had a fish pond so they could have fresh fish when they wanted to, and the whole lot. And they said, well, how's it all? How do you run this stuff when, society falls apart? And he goes, oh, it runs on power. They didn't have solar panels. It was all connected straight to the grid. So as soon as the grid went, all of their prepping abilities went. So their score went down like that, And then there are other people who've got just about every contingency you can think of. They've got this underground bunker. In fact, they sell them in America. You can actually go to one of these prepping places and you can buy these converted, I don't know what they are, some sort of giant tanks, and they dig a big hole, bury these things in there, and then you go down, and depending on your level of financial, however much you want to pay, the more you pay, the more features you get. Like if you go for the premium top of the line one, they've got flamethrowers, machine guns and everything. So if anybody comes down the steps and they're not who you want, you just hit the switch and they get toasted. And there are actually people out there buying these things. So, is it real? I mean, there are so many shows out there which are not specifically you're the last person alive. They're working on, humanity's been wiped out to near extinction levels and they have to fight for survival, like alien invasion stuff like Falling Skies and things like that. And there's some really good stuff, but if you're the last person, everything falls back on you. You know what I mean? You've got to be you've got to be able to be fully self-sufficient. And then if you throw into the line what they were saying about all animals are gone as well, what are you hunting? You're going to live off artificial foods for the rest of your life, or at least as long as you can find them. Lollies.
Spam works.
Canned foods, they last for a very long time.
Even if they're out of date.
But I guess if I was in a situation like that, I would definitely look and secure a food spot. Let's say like a Walmart or a supermarket or a one of these super centers. I mean, because if you're the only one there, right?
What do you need to secure it for then?
Huh?
What do you need to secure it for then?
Secure as far as I don't know.
Because there's nobody else around to secure it from you.
Make sure I don't lose, because we as humans, we're naturally curious. So we're going to be wandering and going miles far off. So I guess in every place where I go, I would secure a area to know where to get food from. I don't know. I mean, because you're going to, according to you, Jeremy, you're going to try and go to Area 51.
Oh, no, I'll do it. It won't be the first day. It'll be the first thing I do, yes.
So if, so what I mean about securing is that if you go to Area 51, then you're going to spend the whole day there.
Be spending more than a day there if you got there.
No, I'll be spending more than a day there. And I wouldn't set up one spot.
Okay.
I'd keep walking and sleep along the way.
All right. So, ain't Area 51 supposedly like in the middle of a desert or something?
Yeah. You don't know where Area 51 is?
Fernando.
I mean, I said supposedly. I mean, ain't it like far off there, like
Groom Lake?
I don't know, towards the west.
I think it's Groom Lake in Nevada. Fernando. It's Groom Lake, and then if you go to S4, that's Papoose Lake, I think it is.
And I'm sure they've got food there.
I'm sure they have. Yeah, maybe not lollies and munchies and things, but they would have some sort of food there. They have spaceships there, so you could go up for a fly.
So, with everyone missing, does that mean that if they've got extraterrestrial life, so does that go missing as well?
Yes.
And there's no point going to Area 51 then.
Well, there is. They've got the flying saucers and possibly ray guns.
Not for nothing, but that's an interesting plot to a movie, right? If all humans are gone, if you come across something living, that means it's not human. If all humans and animals are gone, and you come across something that's living, then you would assume that it's something,
Okay, let me throw a little spanner in your works right there. Okay, so if all humans and animals are gone, and you come across something that's living, it is not human. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Well, what are you?
I mean,
you're human. You're living.
I mean, under the premise that I go to sleep and wake up and I'm the only one, right?
Then Fernando's going to identify as a female, go to a sperm bank, get pregnant, and then make more children.
So he becomes asexual. The asexual Fernando.
We're going to get canceled.
Doesn't mean like if a lady does it and they've got the know-how behind it and they've got the science background, they can impregnate themselves.
You can just picture him there with an eyedropper. Blip, 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 blip. There's your blip.
This is gonna be complete off topic, but did you guys see what happened to that transgender?
That's way off topic.
A woman that transitioned into a man, but she's a boxer.
No,
he's a boxer, and
he won
his first match. She got knocked out in 21 seconds. Anyway,
yeah. Way to take us off topic now. Getting back to you're the last person.
I had issues.
Now you think, right? I Am Legend. That is practically the scenario we're talking about, except for the zombie things and stuff like that, and his dog, obviously. But you've got the whole city to yourself, and again, that's a little bit more realistic in that it starts getting overgrown after a little bit of time. You know what I mean?
Takes over.
Forget the animals and things like that. Grass is going to keep growing and all of that sort of stuff, and it starts taking over. So unless you're really good at gardening, eventually the whole world is going to, it's going to reclaim itself. All the giant buildings will eventually crumble and fall, and
that's how they made Tarzan.
Yeah. Well,
technically speaking, I've been to a lot of these abandoned places, and nature does take over. So yeah, absolutely, that's for sure.
But why wouldn't you just get on that? Make your way to Japan where they make these adult AI bots. And then you get like 20 of them. You can sit and have conversations with them,
or anything else you might want to do with them.
Well, that's a given. Well, but you're not going to be lonely. You're not going to be lonely. Well, you think about it. You can only spend so much time with your own thoughts before you become crazy.
Oh man.
Let AI do it for you.
Yeah, that could be the whole Castaway. With
well, it's not Wilson. It's Betty.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I was safe to say, if anybody finds himself in a situation like that ever, with today's modern technology, especially sex toys, you'll be good.
You know what? Oh, I was just about to say that, and I would have ruined my own little thing by saying what I was going to say. But a lot of the stuff that we think about in this day and age is you're taking photos, you're uploading social media and stuff like that. You're never going to get a like again. You're never going to get a view again.
That's where you're wrong.
Unless you create your own separate accounts.
AI.
Yeah?
AI will still be here.
Now, let's go to the next question. Did AI cause whatever made everybody else disappear?
100%, because it's an AI government now, so it's AI government conspiracies.
There's a TV show, and I can't remember the name of it, so it's neither here nor there. But 2% of the world's population just vanished, just like that, and it takes 3 seasons about people coming to terms with their life and what happened to them and could it happen again, and then you sort of end of the 3rd season you find out what caused this and stuff like that. But
ain't that 2%? Like,
yeah, 2%, something along those lines. I can't remember what they actually call the show, but it's got Christopher Eccleston in it, and actually the main guy is actually an Aussie guy, even though he puts on an American accent. But it's not a bad show. Some of them turn into that weird let's wear all white and smoke like crazy religion, and it just makes you wonder. No, not these people. These people are weirder than that. But it's a question that you've got to think about. Well, you don't have to think about it, but it's one definitely worth thinking about, because I know everybody first thoughts are, I'll go on a shopping spree, just grab everything I want, do this, do that, have an absolute ball. But then at some point you realise you've got everything you can get your hands on, and you can get all dressed up to impress, but who are you going to impress except yourself?
Let's be honest, I can see myself naked on a Harley riding as fast as I can.
Oh, that's just not right.
Why? There's no bugs, there's no animals, you're not going to get hit in the face with it. There's no one driving in front of you, there's no stones.
Yeah, but if you hit the brakes too hard, you'll slide on your seat. Sorry, I'm having flashbacks to another show, which I'm not going to go into. Just because there's no traffic, does that mean all the cars are all suddenly nicely all parked to the side of the road and stuff?
So what time of day are we talking where the
I don't know. That is not. And that's something that we should all check out this video, which is what this video is all about. So To get what we're talking about with this video, you have to watch the other video, which we will leave a link in the description to. Because in that everything's nicely parked. And everything's clean and everything's neat.
That's Autobahn.
Man, you're going to be doing some you're going to be doing some kilometers when this happens. If this happens,
Well,
when this happens,
if you've got AI, the AI can get you places.
He's gonna go to Area 51 via Germany to do the autobahn.
No, I said I'm not even going to do Area 51 because there's not going to be aliens.
But how do you know aliens aren't an artificial construct?
And still could have married E.T.'s sister. No one would have been none the wiser.
Now, technically, while we're talking about aliens, because we're just about out of time, we've got about 6 or 7 minutes left. Everybody says that the Greys are a cybernetic organism. So there is a part biological aspect, but there is also an artificial intelligence aspect to them as well. So do they still... This goes back to that whole thing that we were talking about the other week about with nanobots and stuff like that. If they inject nanobots into you, which are designed to fix you, if you have an injury, you cut your arm, nanobots come together and start stitching it all back up. All good. Now, at what point do they not be able to work? Because if they keep working like that, if you die, they're still trying to put you back together and trying to keep your brain working, even though you're dead. What happens at that point?
You're a zomboid.
A zomboid. It's an interesting thought.
Zomboid.
Yeah. This is one of the weirdest topics we have ever covered.
It is, but let's be honest. Yeah. It wouldn't be as fun riding a bike because you don't have your mates to ride with.
True.
And you can try and tell them that you rode this awesome bike and they'd never believe how fast you got because they weren't there to see it.
True.
So realistically, I probably just killed myself.
Well, that is unfortunately, that would be a very daunting and very realistic thought process. If you're the last person alive, what's the point? You
would, exactly right. Unless you're someone with that background and you can reproduce, if you're a male scientist or whatever it would be in that case, of genetics and reproduction.
Well, that's the funniest.
Building yourself something to, fertilize an egg and make children and do it that way.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, no man wants to deal with screaming children by himself, so he's not going to do that either. He'll probably just kill himself.
Now, if you haven't seen that show, The Last Man on Earth, it's definitely worth watching because a lot of what we're talking about now is what this guy goes through. He literally goes through he ends up getting himself like a big Greyhound bus that he lives on, but he travels from city to city looking for life, and then he just crosses them off, and you can see he's crossed just about every state off mainland USA looking for life, and then he ends up in some place, Millionaire's Row or something, picks his own house, and he lives the good life for a bit. He has all sorts of weird shit in the house because he can. And then one day some woman turns up, and he's not the last person on, he's the last man, as far as he's aware. But there's a woman, and of course, the first thing she does, and this is not anything to have a go at anybody, she starts nagging him. He's the last man on earth, and he's getting nagged by a woman. And eventually, she nags him that much that he decides to marry her. So he marries her, and then literally about 2 days later, this bloody blonde bombshell turns up, and he's like, and it's funny. So he's not actually the last man on earth, but
if you were, when you found that out, you'd kill her and just go to the next one. No one's there to arrest you.
But this is the thing: is then a better looking guy than him turns up. So the blonde that he's now fancying is now fancying the other guy. It just goes on from there. So it's funny in that you see these people do things that you would never expect or think about doing in your life because you'd get in trouble for it. But the thing is, there's nobody to get you in trouble. So you're just doing whatever you want. And that would be cool.
So that's where do you try and get AI to start making more humans and then you become the god of the earth? Well, you tell people what to do, and you're the bank, and you have this much, and you have your own conspiracy theories, and you do this.
Well, you watch just about every show like that now. You've got, what's it called? I Am Legend. He starts setting up the mannequins in the video shop, and he talks to them as if they're real people. They start doing that in a lot of these different shows. I mean, even Tom Hanks, when he's on that island
They're crazy.
he starts talking to Wilson, the ball. You need somebody or something to identify with. And
To interact with, yeah.
You neck yourself.
do you, I mean, okay, here's a silly question for you, right, before we go. If you're the last person on Earth, do you still bother talking?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Do you talk? Do you...
You get your personal best on your speed down the street, you'd be like, fuck yeah, that was awesome. You're not going to not say anything.
Yeah, but do you say it? Was it in your head?
No, you say it out loud.
You know what? Yeah.
You're probably
Barry,
right with
Barry
that.
knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah. I must admit, I have already done that.
How many times have you leaned into a corner that's a little bit too much than what you should have? You're like, fuck yeah, I pulled it off.
I'm going to shut up. I'm not going to say any more than that, but
Without incriminating yourself.
I have done some silly stuff, and
man.
you know when you push it to that point that you're leaning over on a bike that the bike is not designed to lean that far, and then you start to feel that back tire starting to slide, and you go, oh.
Generally, that happens when my foot peg folds up over my boot, and you feel it go.
It's been more than once I've had my foot pegs scraping and sparking.
And then as it's going, your bum's going.
Yeah, it's pucker. Yeah. Oh wow! I think on that we're just about out of time. I think we should really throw something else in, because pucker is not where we want to finish an episode. No. What would you do if you had the world to yourself? Where would you go? What fun would you have? Would it be fun if you haven't got anybody to share it with? Is it worth it? God, this just something. Depressing.
I guess you're gonna still want to have some thrills, but then, like, I'm just here thinking. Let's say you want to go to an amusement park. You want to ride a ride. Since you're by yourself, you could be the first. Who's gonna turn on this shit?
You're gonna press it, run to the seat, and jump in?
The more
who's gonna turn it off to get off?
I was just about to say the more tricky.
sex bots.
Yeah, the more tricky one is who's going to turn it off.
I get the AI bots.
Oh man, that's wild. That's wild. I mean, because then like okay. Let's say like there is AIs around, and you could. AI is artificial intelligence. So what if they don't want you to get off and they just leave you there?
That just sounded. I was just what we were talking about earlier. What you were talking about earlier, mixed with what he just said. We're talking about making AI, or sex bots, and then he's just talking about AI not letting you get off.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
So,
look, Dan, I've got 2 notes I'll get in this with. Is 1, I'll be the richest person in the world, and 2, I'll be the most endowed person in the world.
And you'd be the brokest person in the world, and you'd be Jesus.
I said 2 points.
You'd be Jesus Christ for a bit. Or you could be if you wanted to be.
If you're the only person in the world, money doesn't make.
How do you become Bung Jesus and let yourself off the rope afterwards?
I don't think he knows what they are. We're going to have to enlighten him on the Bung Jesus. He'll giggle when he sees it.
On that note,
I think we have reached our absolute limit on where we can go with an episode. So it was a definite. See, I've lost the ability to speak. It was a different episode. I don't know what else to say, in all honesty.
Boy.
Peace be with you, my children.
It's all Fernando's fault. Fernando.
It was coming.
Fernando. That's crazy.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
See ya.
All right.